for everyone. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much. We are seeing people joining. There you go. I can see we have 41, 44, Barum, Bashar, Carlos Cabrales, Chris, Christopher Jones, Cynthia, Danigel, Colin, Dean, Ed, Edgardo, Gary, hey, Greg, Henry, that's good, very good. Hey, Grace, how are you? Grace is speaking with us in the chat. That's good. Okay, now Mike, Tracy, welcome. Thank you very much to be here. We are getting a lot of support, 114 already joining. David, Edgardo, Florian, Frank. Oh, wow, that's very, very, very good. Now you can speak, guys. Unmute yourself. Let's go.
All right. Well, thanks for having me, Francisco and Michael. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we are just giving 1 minute maybe maximum, and then we are going to kick off. But we are
wow!
really...
as soon as you opened it, they just started flooding in. So you guys packed the house.
Yeah, people love this. So I
Nice.
guess I have a hand up. Ed Young. Oh, okay.
Hello from Macedonia, Ottawa, Canada, Orlando. That's my stomping ground. I grew up in Orlando.
Germany, Denver. Oh, wow.
Germany, Denver, Colorado.
London. Hey, Adrian Forster. Here. I'm
from the
London,
Philippines.
too.
All right.
That's great.
Fiji, Oregon.
Where are you?
Wow.
Chile. Oh, Thomas, I am from
Madrid,
Chile.
France.
North of Chile, Iquique City. Beautiful. That's great.
This is incredible. Wow.
That's great. Okay. That's great. Yes. Seguro, Thomas. Fantástico. Okay, that's great. Oh, let's see. So the idea now is now give you a very short welcome, and then just so for you to are clear, all questions will remain at the end of the presentation. Okay. So I think that I'm going to 136, 37. Okay, let's wait 1 minute more, please. Let's wait 1 minute more. I think that it's okay. Let's continue interacting with the chat. Looking forward for today's sessions. Chat. Hey, Christopher. Haha, this is already my favorite webinar I have had this week. Okay, we are just starting. I'm Demon from Dominica in the Caribbean. Oh, that is close to Barbados. I have worked directly with the guys from Barbados. Very cool people. Then, oh wow, was hoping we would join soon through BuddyBoss. Oh, that is coming soon. That is coming soon. Maybe Mike can give us more details at the end. Yorkshire, UK. Oh, beautiful Yorkshire. Probably I will be moving to Yorkshire soon. Dean from Washington State. Oh, wow. Just found out about this webinar right now. Mario, hey. Yeah, Mario is from our Facebook group, Martech. That's great. Yeah, I just shared the invite there. Then, hello from
Salzburg. Oh, I love Salzburg.
Oh, well. LTD owner of BuddyBoss team and Wishlist Member. Great.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
Calling from Philadelphia. Okay. I think that it's good time. Thank you very much, guys, to be here. We want to do the official kickoff of this webinar. We have been planning with Tracy and Mike to be all together. Finally, I managed to get both of them in my agenda for today. So I'm really excited to what we want to share with you today. The idea is I want to share briefly the structure of what we want to do today, so you are aware and you have clear expectation about what will be happening. The recording, yes, the recording is happening already automatically. So in case that for whatever reason you missed something, you will be there as backup. On YouTube later, probably we'll be sharing later. Then the idea for today, going back to that, is because we have a mixed audience. So the idea is for Mike, that is the CTO of BuddyBoss and co-founder, to share a demo of the BuddyBoss platform and product and team. And then Tracy, that is a founder of Wishlist Member, he will be showing us use cases and also the details of the BuddyBoss integration that they have developed for the BuddyBoss platform. So I want to now present and introduce to you both of them, so you can know them, you can hear them, and see what they can share with us now. Mike, welcome. Tracy, welcome. Officially.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Francisco. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to be the polite one, and I'm going to let Michael go first so that I don't take all the thunder right away.
All right.
You're not scared, Tracy, right? Okay.
All right.
Okay, Mike.
Should I jump in?
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Oh no, I was gonna tell just a quick intro. I thought you were gonna do a quick intro real quick. I just want to say, first of all, thank you guys for inviting me. And I know we have some people on the group that came from our side that are using Wishlist Member, and then a lot of people on BuddyBoss. I'm super excited about what we're doing. Michael and I actually met this last year at the WordCamp US. And it was really amazing because it was just a chance meeting. I was talking to somebody and he was talking to the same person. And then it was like, I mean, of course I had heard of BuddyBoss. So it was just like, it was perfect timing. So we had that instant connection. And now that I've been working with you, Francisco, I'm super, super excited about our relationship in terms of how we can just continue to push our integration further. I'm excited to get into that.
Yeah, agree. I even was really like to go deep, with this integration. We discussed this a couple of months ago, and your team was already did a great job. Even right now, what the level of the integration, what you can achieve using Wishlist Member and BuddyBoss is really amazing. So I need to say that to you. Congrats, for the job done there as well.
Thank you.
Yes, Mike, do you want to share something quickly about you?
Sure. So I'm the co-founder and CTO of BuddyBoss. So I manage all of the product development for our web application and our mobile application. And our team is working with people who are building add-ons to our platform, which is really exciting. The product's gotten really popular and people are starting to build extensions to it so we can get an ecosystem of functionality around it. And Tracy, I'm really happy that you're building things in Wishlist Member for BuddyBoss. It's one of the main things people are using our communities for are membership sites. And so that's super useful to almost all of our customers. So we're really excited about it.
Right, perfect. So let's start with the first section. Mike, this is all yours.
All right. So I'm going to give a kind of intro, a demo to the product and explain a little bit about the background of the product. And that'll go for about 10 minutes. And then we'll hand it over to Tracy and he can talk about the integrations that they've built and are expanding on for BuddyBoss.
Yes.
All right.
Quick heads up before. Guys, the idea is take advantage of the QA section in the bottom of your screen and throw there all questions that you have related to what Mike will be doing, and then Tracy. So I can, while they are not doing it, I can check and see which ones are like the best to reply right away. Thank you. Go, Mike.
Sure. Okay. So let me share my screen. Can you see?
Yeah, we do. All good.
Okay, great. So if you want to see a live demo of our product, you can go to demos.buddyboss.com/online-communities and create a sandbox. And what this is actually doing is creating a private, it's basically duplicating the WordPress site, creating a private sandbox for you to play in. And here you can actually play with the whole product. So I'm going to give kind of an intro here as to what the kind of high level functionality is. BuddyBoss platform is a product for building a social network on WordPress. So people are usually using this to build membership and community sites. And we have a strong focus on e-learning. At least half the customers are doing courses in the site. So here, when we log into the product, we can see most of the functionality that you would find in Facebook or LinkedIn and applications like that, you'll see working here in WordPress. So we have an activity feed, I can post content, I can format the content, and I can upload images. And we have a new thing we just launched recently, which is documents. So you can attach documents, and those documents have these really nice live previews showing you the content. So very similar experience to like what you would find in Slack or something like that. And then, hold on, I got the Zoom thing in my way here. And then if I go into, let's say the members directory, so users can come and register for the site and they get a profile and an account, and you can go into the user's profile and they can post activity, they can update the content in their profile. So this is all pretty much, really everything in the product is customizable by the site admin. It's an extremely extendable and customizable product. So like all these profile fields that show the data on the profile, you can control what all that is. We even allow for different profile types. So you could say maybe of one type of user is a teacher, another type is a student, and you could have different information collected for the different types of users. We have member connections. So this is like in this user doesn't have a connection, but it's like in LinkedIn or Facebook where you have friends or connections, you can connect with other people. And then we have groups. So a group is sort of like, kind of like a Facebook page. It's a place where people can hang out and interact with each other. So if I go into this group, for example, you can see the group has its own activity feed with documents that can be attached, and people can leave comments on them. And people can add photos into the group and organize those photos into albums. And then the group has members. So these are the people who are hanging out in this group. You could have a private group or you can have a public group. It's really customizable. And the group can have forums as well. So here we have forum discussions where people are, asking questions and answering them and things like that. So here's a forum. We have a really nice interface for interacting with forum replies. And then we have a really strong integration with LearnDash for doing courses. Like I said, a lot of our customers are doing e-learning type communities. So they might have users who pay for access, and that's where something like Wishlist would come in for doing memberships. So you might have someone pay for access and be able to take courses based on their permission level, things like that. So if I go into a course, you can see we have taken a lot of care to make the course area of the site look really beautiful and be very functional. So here, for example, I'm within a lesson and we have a full screen view and even a dark mode so that you can concentrate at night on the course content. So this is kind of a high level overview of the front end. There's a ton of functionality in here. And like I said, it's customizable. So on your community, you may or may not be using all of this. You can turn things on and off. So I'm going to go into the back end. And if I go into BuddyBoss components, you can see from here, all of the top level components can be turned on and off. So things like profiles, account settings, we have notifications, forums, activity, all this stuff can be turned on and off. And then you can go deeper into that, into the settings and totally customize all of the stuff. So for example, a user profile, you could turn on and off, like how you're gonna display the profile, if it's first name and last name, very customizable. And some of you may know that BuddyBoss platform is a fork of BuddyPress. So BuddyPress, if I go here, BuddyPress has existed for a long time. I would say maybe 11 or 12 years. And our company BuddyBoss started in 2010, and it started as a company that was building add-ons and extensions to BuddyPress. So we've been around actually for 10 years doing this. And so in the past, what we would do is build plugins that can extend functionality in BuddyPress, and we would build themes that would style BuddyPress. That's kind of what we were known for. And we also we had a large customer base who were buying our products, and we had a big client base too of customers who would basically want us to really customize everything for them and pay us to do full site builds. And over time, it became really apparent to us that BuddyPress, while it's a good piece of software, its growth has been extremely slow, and it was slowing us down and making it difficult for us to give our customers the experience that they really wanted. Missing a lot of features, and if we wanted to add those features, we had to build an add-on. We couldn't really edit the core BuddyPress that, then you can't update it anymore. So we were finding ourselves doing sort of hacky workarounds, or some things we would just have to tell a client we can't do that. And we were seeing over and over again customers and clients asking for the same questions, right? If there's something you really want in your social network, there's a pretty good chance that a bunch of other customers want the same thing. So we were seeing that happening all the time, and it was, you know, it was painful to me. I couldn't give people that solution sometimes in a clean way. So eventually we decided, you know what, we have a big team. We know the software as well as anybody, and we know exactly what customers want. And when I say we know what customers want, I mean that because customers tell us what they want, right? We hear it all the time. So we decided, you know, we're going to take BuddyPress and fork it and build a version of it that delivers on what our customers are actually looking for, and update that super aggressively. And it was very important to us to make it backwards compatible with BuddyPress, so that people who had BuddyPress sites could easily carry over their data, and that extensions that work for BuddyPress would keep working. So it was as painless as it could be, you know, a fairly easy transition for people to switch to our product. So what we did is we forked BuddyPress. We made sure it's backwards compatible to BuddyPress. Almost every existing BuddyPress plugin works with BuddyBoss. And we launched it as also, like BuddyPress, an open source free product. So if I go into here, this is our GitHub, and this is open source. It's public. Anyone can come in here and download BuddyBoss platform for free. We have developers coming in here and interacting with our Git issues, submitting patches, asking us stuff. We have we're fortunate to have a very enthusiastic and active customer base. So it's kind of just like BuddyPress was an open source project with a community around it. This is the same. We're really involved in our community and listening to them and trying to build the best social networking plugin possible. And then we have our theme, which styles everything and makes it all look really beautiful, which is what you see here. So if you just install the plugin out of the box, it's going to look very basic. If you add our theme, it's going to make everything really beautiful. As you can imagine, there's a ton of functionality baked into this product. And so all of that needs to be styled. So we take a lot of care to style everything beautifully, to do it in mobile. If we add a new feature, the day that feature comes out, the same day you will see, within 10 minutes, you'll see an update to our theme that has all the styling for that feature. Whereas if you're using BuddyPress, you know, they might add some feature in it's just going to look broken in your theme, and you're going to pay some developer by the hour to style it. So we kind of end to end take care of everything for you. So when you use our product and then buy our theme, not only are you getting all the features that are there today, 6 months from now, a year from now, there's going to be tons of updates, and you're just going to keep getting those updates in the theme and in the plugin. So we have this website, and I'll go for maybe 2 more minutes, and then I'll let Tracy take over. BuddyBoss.com/resources has all of our documentation. We have, you'll recognize my voice when you watch these videos. We have tons of video tutorials, I think over 100 by now, showing how to configure everything in the product. And we have code reference for developers to look up functions and hooks. You know, we're really trying to make this really developer friendly, so that it's easy for developers to add their own, either to do their customizations on their own website, or for vendors like Wishlist to be able to easily build add-ons. And we even have an example starter add-on that any developer can download, and it has instructions that show you how to build your own add-on plugin to BuddyBoss platform to make it easy for you. And we also have our REST API, which we launched recently. So we have our official BuddyBoss REST API. So we have an API for every feature in the product, and we're actively maintaining that. And then we use that API in our mobile app. So if you go to appboss.com, we have also a native iOS and Android mobile app that takes all the functionality, all the functionality that you see in the web product and extends it all into a native mobile app. So we're really giving you an end-to-end solution, from just one plugin that gives you all the functionality, one theme that styles it beautifully, and an app that extends it all into the app. And yeah, so it's really, the goal is to make it as simple as possible for a customer to have a fully featured social network. And the last thing I'll show you here is, if we go to our roadmap, buddyboss.com/roadmap, we have a public roadmap showing you all the things that we plan to build during the course of 2020. And over time, we readjust this roadmap. We'll be extending and adding new things. And you can see all the stuff that we've already delivered on in the roadmap. We have a large team. We have designers, front-end developers, back-end developers, testers, everything. And we are aggressively moving through this roadmap and building everything. And the roadmap is driven by customer feedback. So we listen to our customers, and sometimes we'll move things around or add something in the roadmap because we just see the demand of a lot of customers asking for it. Yeah, so that's an intro to the product. And Tracy can take over and talk about the Wishlist Member integrations they're building for it.
That's perfect. Can you stop sharing, Mike, please?
Yes.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
Okay, that was BuddyBoss introduction to our product, theme, platform. Of course, there is a lot more to share and learn. I just want to quickly mention some key points that we are going to review today with Tracy from Wishlist Member. For instance, many questions, even probably many of the questions that we got in the QA section will be replied across the section that Tracy will be managing. But for instance, many people is asking, how can, what is the process to adding a user to WordPress with BuddyBoss or any other method and automatically adding them to Wishlist Member to a membership level? Then how Wishlist Member handles payments so they can make it most flexible membership plugin available. How can or how Wishlist Member is the flexible plugin available. Then we are going to see or deep dive in the integration between Wishlist Member and BuddyBoss, and then find out why Tracy believes that this integration is just getting started. That's exciting. And finally, how Wishlist Member and WooCommerce work together, integrated with BuddyBoss and other integrations like LearnDash and all the things. Okay, Tracy, now is all yours. You are muted, Tracy.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we do. Perfect.
Loud and clear.
And you can see my screen, correct?
We can see the banner of this webinar.
Okay, perfect. So I will start by saying my team and I have this acronym when we have these meetings like that, and it's we always say SWIM, and it stands for sorry, was I muted? And it happens every single day. So I also want to point out that Michael, when you were going through the resources and you were talking about all the tons of videos you had, I also noticed someone in the questions said, I recognize Michael's voice from all the tutorials. It's very soothing and relaxing. So congrats, cool. Congrats on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over a screen here. And so you should be able to see my screen now. And I am also going to this is a Chrome that I have. So this is the best way for me to walk through. And then I'm also going to bring over another screen in just a moment, and it's going to be Firefox, and I'll be switching back and forth between Chrome and Firefox. And the reason I do that is because I'll be logged in as an admin so that we can make changes, and then I'll be logged in as something separate in Firefox so we can see what it would look like on a user. And as I get going, I just want to, I realize that there are, like I said before, there's a lot of people from the BuddyBoss list that they know BuddyBoss inside and out, and Wishlist Member is new to them. But we also have people on the webinar, and we'll be watching it later, that know Wishlist Member, but they don't know much about BuddyBoss. So I appreciate you talking about the way that it was forked off of BuddyPress. And for me, my past background is once we got started with Wishlist Member, I kept hearing this thing about BuddyPress, 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 and it had a ton of functionality, but in my mind, I couldn't even really fully wrap my head around it because it seemed as though it was very functional in terms of large amount of feature set, but it was very difficult, and it almost just required a developer to do anything with it. And so for me, it was just very, very frustrating, and I just sort of kind of kept pushing it back. And then finally, when Michael and I met and I learned like what was happening with BuddyBoss and the way that you guys are moving in the direction, I thought it was absolutely brilliant. And I want to just call out to the point where Michael said that there's the BuddyBoss platform and it runs as a plugin. And so what you'll see here on my site is, like I said, it's Chrome. And I have the BuddyBoss platform, which is a plugin that's installed. And I also have the Wishlist Member plugin installed. Now, as I bring over Firefox, you're going to see that this is just a really, this is basically this site, what it will look like on the outside. And you can see it really doesn't look great. I mean, it's just like automatically through all this stuff up here. There's no styling. And I am currently, I'm using the Astra theme, which is a great theme. It's very, very popular, free theme. So now what happens is you put all the functionality in here and then you just like, well, that's great, but it just doesn't look good. And that sort of thing just drives me crazy. So when I found out about what you guys are doing with BuddyBoss, I was simply amazed. I basically can just come over here and, like you described, I just go here to the themes and I say, oh, I have BuddyBoss installed. I just basically activate it. And as soon as it gets activated, give me a welcome from the CEO. And now I'm going to switch back over to Firefox. I'll just hit refresh. And just with a couple clicks of a button, it just cleans everything up. Now, granted, I haven't set anything up, but you'll see that this sort of thing makes people like me very, very happy. And I'll tell you, is like, I know I'm losing a lot of my hairs because of things like this. So thank you, Michael, and thank you to your team for doing such an incredible job. This is absolutely off the charts amazing. I'm very, very impressed with it.
Thanks very much.
Okay. So as Francisco, do you have any questions as I just start diving into it? You swim. You're muted. Sorry.
Let's go for the let's go for the first point. That is adding a user to WordPress with BuddyBoss.
All right. So here's the thing. There's two ways that you can use BuddyBoss and Wishlist Member together. Now, I know there's also a couple questions that have come up and they say, can you explain a little bit further what you mean by an integration? And I'm going to get into that. And then there's also questions about, well, I thought this comes up a lot when we talk about things like LearnDash and BuddyBoss. They're like, I thought you guys had a membership piece of it. And it's basically the membership piece says, yeah, you have to log in with the username and password before you control access to it. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just basically click here and I'm going to sign up in BuddyBoss. And you'll see that this is just, again, all I did was I uploaded a photo and they styled the whole thing just beautifully. So I could create a brand new account, and whenever I create a brand new account, I would basically just go in to WordPress as a user, and BuddyBoss can control some things. So here's step one in terms of, this is a feature that helps us out with a lot of other plugins, but it basically came from working with the team here at BuddyBoss. In Wishlist Member, we have levels. And so I'm just going to go here to setup. And I have already created a few demonstration levels, but I created one here that's called free members. And so on free members, there's lots of different settings that I can set up here. I can set up all sorts of different things. But this is the key feature that I wanted to point out to you. It's just this little toggle, and it basically says, if you turn it on, automatically add any non-wishlist member user registrations to this level. Now, this one right here, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off because this is basically a free registration link that we have. I'll show you what that looks like here in Firefox. But if I were just going to add free members and I came in through the WordPress users registration, I'm sorry, the free registration with a Wishlist Member, we're back to basically we created a form that had no styling on it. So that's what that does. So people like to have things like this whenever they're doing free registration. So we recognize that and added that thing in there. So all you need to do is you need to turn this on, and now anybody that comes in through the BuddyBoss registration will automatically be added here. And so I'm just going to go here, and I'll just use this generated password, and I'll say test4, and I'll call it tester test4. And this is also a field where I created a custom field when I was configuring BuddyBoss. It's not a required field, so I'm going to leave that just simple. So I'm going to click Create Account, and I'll go ahead and save this here. So now BuddyBoss is telling me that I need to confirm my email address before I can actually access my account. So I'm just going to run over here on my other monitor, and I am going to come over here, and I will check my email here because it's giving me an activation link. And here we are. So I'll click on that. I just opened up the link and opened up in another browser here. So that should work. So now that I'm here, I should be able to go in, and now I can sign in with the new account that I just created. So I'm going to come in here, and your account has not been activated. Okay, maybe I did not do that correctly. You need to come. Let me come back over here, and I'll just do that. So I'm going to click on this link here, and it says, okay, make sure we activate it. And now I will activate that. And now that it is activated, I can click here and I can log in, and I should be able to log in with this account that I just set up. So there we are. Now, again, I haven't configured anything, but this is basically one of those questions where people are always saying, I want BuddyBoss to control the logins or the setup and the registration process. Then I want Wishlist Member to handle some of the other stuff. So I'm gonna jump over here, and I'm just gonna show you what happened here. And again, because I had set that up on that membership level, let's see, actually that's the one I did, and I didn't do it right. I think I made a modification, but anyways, this worked in my testing. But let me hit refresh here. Well, anyways, earlier I must have changed something that I wasn't paying attention. I get all excited when I'm doing that. That's the purpose of that membership level. Let me make sure that I have that correct. Oops, registrations. Okay, well, I'll double check that later. But that's the concept, is using that one single feature to turn it on. That way it gives people the ability to register through BuddyBoss, and then it automatically adds them into Wishlist Member. And that's not just specifically through BuddyBoss, that's really any a system in terms of registration. If you're using some sort of a custom form plugin that you're handling user registrations, it will also work there. I'll go back later and I'll double check. I think that it might have been when I tried to click the wrong link in Chrome. So sorry about that. All right, Francisco, do we have any questions before we move on? And
I think that it's better try to go through the points, because we have 50 questions. So be ready for the end.
Okay, good.
But this
this
point is very, very, very useful, because even if we do benchmarking with other membership plugins, they are already doing that. I mean, there is a way to use the BuddyBoss default registration form that can even, as you showed, use custom fields that is already adding any new sign up to any specific membership level that we decide. So that is very key feature because then free members already logged in can receive upsells and be redirected to upsells page and all that. So it's very, very powerful feature.
Right.
The second topic is related to how Wishlist Member is handling payments. So how flexible it is.
Okay, so this is gonna be where we start jumping into integrations. And so when you come over here under setup, you'll see that earlier I set up the levels, and I did that before the webinar, so I didn't walk you through how to do that. But now I'm gonna go over here and jump over to the integration section. And we have them separated by payment providers, and then by email providers, and then other services. So we'll get into the other services in just a bit, and that's where we'll really dig in, and we'll start talking about the integration between Wishlist Member and BuddyBoss. But the payment providers, I wanted to point out that we handle payments a little bit differently than most plugins. Most plugins will say, we're gonna always control the entire transaction. So that basically means that whatever thing that you purchase, you always have to create an account with them, with the plugin first, and then they pass the transaction over. So they're always in control of the transaction. Now, Wishlist Member does it a little bit differently. In most cases, we get behind the transaction, not in every case, but in most cases. And so what that does is it leaves us having a good bit more flexibility, because let's just say that you wanted to use something like Pay Kickstart or Infusionsoft. Plug and Play is a new payment system that's very popular in Europe. So you handle all kinds of things with the GDPR and all these things, JVZoo, ClickBank, we got all kinds of them. And so by getting behind the payment, they control the transaction, and then they send it over to us so that we can decide if that person gets access or not. So in the Stripe case, Stripe and PayPal are the primary systems that we really do need to control the transaction. And that's because of the way their systems are built. So I'm going to walk you through the Stripe transaction, because when it really comes down to it, most people will get by using either Stripe or PayPal. So it really covers a huge amount of our user base. And then another thing I wanted to say is, a lot of people will say, I don't understand how you guys can do this and this and this and this. Well, not everybody is always using a recurring payment, a subscription payment. So a lot of these things are one-time payments, and we really just need to check to see if your payment went through before we grant you access. Others, they do have subscriptions, and then if that fails on a future subscription, then they send this information on here. But here we are in Stripe, and the first thing you'll do is you'll configure it. And on the configuration screen, it basically just asks you for your publishable key, and also like a test transaction key or something. And I have it in test mode, but you'll see that here's some keys and stuff, and that basically comes in here. So now we can go over here and change our settings. We can decide what type of currency we're going to use. I'm using US dollars. And there's also some things, just some simple settings here where you can upload your logo, and you can change the text on the button and all this. Okay, so now that you have it configured, and you'll come over here, this is where it's slightly different, because we actually have an area where you create products in here, and you'll see that the products are actually, they match up with our membership levels. So if I come here, I have an account here, I'm sorry, I have a level called VIP members, and I'm just going to set this as a one-time payment, or I can choose a plan, and it will pull all the plans that I have already created in my Stripe account. I'm just going to call it a one-time payment, and I'm going to say it's $1. And so then I'll click save and close. And there's two ways of adding this. So one is you can click right here and grab the button code. It's a simple short code, and you could just insert that on a page. We also have a little section where you can add a little snippet on the page provider. So I've already created a page here, and I will go here to Firefox. I'm going to log out here because it's just a new account that I set up there. And actually, I probably could just go. I can actually use that same. I'll use that same account here because this will be a good opportunity to show you. If I were a new customer, I would fill out the whole thing, and then it would create a new account for me. And so I'm just going to go to this button here, to this page that I created. I created that little, I just took that little snippet of code, the short code, and it basically created this. And so I'm going to click on this, and the fact that I was already logged in, it already pre-populated my first name, last name, and my email address. If I was not logged in, this information would be blank and they would type it in. So I'm just going to use a test credit card for 2. And then, so now when I click here and I choose pay, yep. So the transaction went through and it was a test transaction, and I'm getting this little message. It basically says, okay, here's, you've been accepted, and this shows up only after registration. Now I'll show you what happened here just so that you understand the flexibility and stuff. So whenever I had the membership level, I'll come over here to the membership level. I just had a registration for that level. It's called the VIP members. And we're going to take a look at some of the settings. So we have the registrations, and then this is the additional settings. So this is the after registration. Actually, let me come over here real quick, and I'm going to go in here and open another tab because I went into, I didn't configure anything. So what it did was it basically just took my global defaults, and right here under redirects, it was the after registration. And so this is, you have some options that are on the global, and I simply just said, hey, I just want to show them a message. So if you look at what happened there in Firefox, I basically just went to a page that gave them a message. Now, if I jump back over here, I could have actually specified a specific page that I had created, one that was already created, or I can just simply click here and I can create a brand new page. So you have a lot of flexibility, and that's, I'm just showing that to you. That's because that's a global setting, or you can come back over here and you can change it on a per level basis. So this is very handy when you're controlling different access for different membership levels. So this is how the payments work. And this is what I'm saying, the reason that I bring that up is because it gives you so much flexibility, because we're not actually stuck in saying, hey, we have to wait for you guys to build an integration with a payment provider. In many of the cases, a lot of the payment providers have actually built out integrations with us because they use our API in order to do it. And we've also added things like web hooks that for people that are not going to build out an integration, we can connect them all with web hooks as well. And finally, going back over here, I wanted to point out another integration here. We'll actually get to this a little bit later. The one that I showed you with Stripe, I was going to point out the fact that we have a WooCommerce integration as well. And the WooCommerce integration, we'll cover that, but it's going to be able to handle all the payment providers that WooCommerce has the ability to. All right, Francisco, at this point, I'm going to shift a little bit gears, shift gears a little bit, and I'm going to switch into the BuddyBoss integration. Did you have anything that you that was not clear to you that I need to cover before I moved on?
Probably a question that is not on the list is, for instance, if someone is using a different payment method like your try-card integration or some card integration, can that as well trigger no, the BuddyBoss integration that is.
Yeah, yeah. Great question. Sorry, I didn't make that clear. So what happens is any one of these integrations. So I just showed you the Stripe. I was looking at Sendow, and I was talking about Stripe. So if we come over here and we look at our members, and we'll see this test for account that I had created earlier. I just made the purchase, and I just got added to the VIP members level. So now that we've done that, we did it with the Stripe integration. We could have done it with WooCommerce. We could have done it with ThriveCart, SamCart, could have been anything. So now that we've been added to this level, we can go over here and now we can start taking a look at the BuddyBoss integration, because this is where things can get really interesting. If you go over here and you enable our BuddyBoss platform integration, you'll see that it checks to make sure that we have the BuddyBoss platform plugin. And the first thing you're going to see is you're going to see our membership levels. Our membership levels are listed here. Again, I have 3. Now, right here, I clicked on the one for VIP members. Now I could click on any of them, but once I click on this, it's basically going to edit that. And so now here are the actions for us. When you get added to this level that was called VIP members, then I have the ability to add you to a group or remove you from a group. And so these are the two groups that I have in created in BuddyBoss. I could add you to group A, and I could remove you from group B. And the same thing is available with profile types. So I could add you to a profile type, or I could remove you from a profile type. Okay, so what we've done is we've basically gone through and created all the different scenarios so that you have the flexibility when added or when canceled, when removed, and when re-registered. So I'll explain that real quick. So this when canceled, so let's say that I did a one-time payment on a Stripe. Now, let's say that that got refunded. If it were refunded, then that would cancel me in Wishlist Member, and then we would have the ability to trigger these actions. Now, the other thing is if I just simply removed them from the level, that basically means I took the level away. I can now trigger to add you on anything here in BuddyBoss. So that's the key thing is with Wishlist Member, but we recognize that there's also the other scenario that we were talking about, and that was people coming in through a different direction. So we have people, what I just showed you is if they came into Wishlist Member, we'll do that. But now if they were on the groups, so let's just say you had some other plugin, any other plugin that had an integration where it would add you to group A. So we have the ability to, if you are added to the group A, we could also add you to this level here. So we've broken that down into the groups here in BuddyBoss and also the profile type actions here. Now this one settings is a little bit different, and this may have been what caused some problems here for me. I don't know. We have the ability, like if you set up these settings, they're basically going to work from the time that you set them up until they're not. So if I added this integration, it's not going to retroactively take all the people that were on that membership level and then put them into the group. It's going to go from here on out. But if you're adding new groups all the time in BuddyBoss, and you know every time you want a new group created, you want them to come into a particular membership level. You don't want to have to come back and modify this new integration every single time. So we added these default settings so that if you create new groups or new profile types, you can automatically set them to be added to a membership level. Okay?
That's great.
And so just to be clear, so that's kind of the integration that gives you the ability. And I know that somebody, and maybe at least multiple people said, can you explain what it means an integration. And the integration, I guess the definition of it is the fact that you're using Wishlist Member, and we're also tying into all the stuff that's in BuddyBoss. And so now when something happens in one plugin, we can make something happen into another plugin if they're properly integrated. And so that's what we're talking about. And the reason why I think I'm just so excited about this is because when you look at what I said earlier about the BuddyPress plugin, and it's like, you know, they had so many great features that I was like, okay, well, it would be nice for us to have that, but it's like, would we build that and not be able to do it as good as them? And then when BuddyBoss came along and they start adding all of these things, and I'm saying, you're asking me to do all these things? Why don't you just use BuddyBoss and we'll do a proper integration? Now, this is where it gets really exciting because the same thing exists with all of the LMSs. LearnDash, very, very similar. Have all these great things, and people are using BuddyBoss, and I know you guys have a tight integration with LearnDash, and you have really tight styling, but we also have an integration with LearnDash. Now, can't really show it to you because I don't have LearnDash installed on this site. But basically, if we went back over and we looked at the integration we just did with BuddyBoss, it's going to be laid out very, very similar, because what we'll have is we'll have membership levels, and then as soon as you get added to this membership level, we can add or remove you to a course in LearnDash. And I know that people are saying, well, wait a minute, I already integrated with BuddyBoss. No, you can actually integrate with multiple providers. So you could say, hey, whenever somebody comes in through this paid membership level, I'm going to have a Wishlist Member. I'm going to add them to the BuddyBoss social group. And then I'm also going to add them to this profile. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to add them to this LearnDash course. And then you can even look here and you can see all of our other integrations. You say, okay, well, I actually want to send something out with Zapier. And then there's even other ones. We have an integration with a system called Evidence, which is very popular for the social proof on your website. You can send information and that it could say, hey, this person just bought. Or you could even go as far as saying, hey, something just happened in BuddyBoss, and we're actually kind of you can see why I get excited, because the possibilities really become just endless. And the reason why I think it's so huge is because you start to find companies that are starting to say, hey, I recognize you guys do all of these things really good, and I'm not even going to try to do the things that you guys are doing. I just want to do my thing as good as possible, because at the end of the day, I think that there is a big, big movement for people that just want best of class tools. And they're like, I want to use Wishlist Member to do this, and I want to use BuddyBoss to do this, and I want to use LearnDash to do this. And it doesn't really help when we all try to build the same tools and we start competing against each other. All right.
I got some questions. Do you think that we can try to?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Let's see. There is the only other thing that I was really going to talk about is WooCommerce. But I know that we're like already up against the time, and so I'll basically just tell you. I know that there are a lot of people that have the thought that in order to run a membership site with WooCommerce, you have to have their add-on plugin. But we decided they had an integration a long time ago that worked with WooCommerce to pass information over to Wishlist Member, and then they built their own plugin, and they actually gave us the code to it. So they said, why don't you guys take it and run with it? We looked at it and said, okay, this is okay, but we decided to build our own because we wanted to be as good as possible. So the answer to anybody that's interested in WooCommerce is you can sell something in WooCommerce. You could use cart flows to do an upsell and all the stuff that connect it, and then deliver everything with BuddyBoss, and it all ties together just seamlessly. So with that, Francisco, I will just pass it back over to you.
Yeah, I think that we got enough questions.
Yeah, I'm sure we probably did.
People is saying, please talk about WooCommerce. No, but no, as Tracy said, it's fully integrated with WooCommerce, and also each product can be linked to a specific membership level, right?
Yes. I mean, if you think that will be helpful, it really won't take that long to set it up.
Go for it. Go for it. It's important.
You want to see it? Okay.
Yes. Of course.
Okay. So yeah, I think that and I'll just tell you, I underestimated WooCommerce and how incredibly popular it was. So, you know, I could leave that strike button. I'm just going to go ahead and disable it. You can run these, but basically when I come over here and then I go to WooCommerce and I turn it on, the difference, the reason I wanted to point that out is because WooCommerce also has a Stripe integration with them, okay? So if you're using WooCommerce, you will not use our Stripe integration. You'll use their payment because their payment system is what works with their checkout system. Okay, so you'll see now that I've enabled it and it says, okay, well, you have no linked products. And I can do this one of two ways. I can say, I'm going to click here and I'm going to link a new product. And you'll see that I already have a product that I created inside of WooCommerce. And all I need to do is say, which membership level do I want to give them access to? So that means when somebody purchases this, we're automatically going to add them to this membership level. I'm going to click close, and I'm not going to save that because I want to show you one other thing is very, very simple. You can come over here, and we just tried to make it as convenient as possible. And once the plugin is, once the integration is enabled, you can come over here and you could create a new product where you just go to the existing one, and you can also link it right over here. You'll see that we have a tab here inside WooCommerce, and you can just basically add it right here, and then you can update this. And now if I went back over there, you would see that it was linked in our integration. I know we have a lot of questions, but I will address this one thing here because this is probably, sometimes people have a question, and this is basically our content protection setting. So what this is for is within Wishlist Member, you can protect just about anything. A page, a post, a comment, a custom post type. And so what you need to understand is with WooCommerce, they are custom post types. And so we currently are not protecting this, but if I were to turn this on, I could basically set that up and say, I don't want anybody to even see this product on my website unless they are logged in with a membership level. And then I say, oh, okay, these people actually have access to order these types of products. So that's why you see that one there. Now that I'll just click here, update, and we'll run back over here into the Wishlist Member integration with WooCommerce setup. Back here. You'll see now that this product was linked because I did it in WooCommerce. So it goes both ways. Now, final thing that I just want to mention and make sure that this is clear. I think that I did this already, but anytime you link something in one plugin, so in this case, a product in WooCommerce, now we've linked it to the membership level. So as soon as that person becomes a member in this membership level, they came in through WooCommerce, it will trigger any one of these integrations that are set up. So in this case, it would just automatically add them to the BuddyBoss platform if that's how you had it set up. So that's kind of a wrap on that, Francisco. We're right at the top of the hour, and we probably have a ton of questions. So yeah. I'll pass it back over to you.
Okay, perfect. The first question related to this is, can we use mixed? So can we sell membership levels through WooCommerce and also still selling normal products at the same time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So, okay. So I think if I understand the question correctly, is let's just say that you have WooCommerce and it's a shopping cart system and they want to add multiple products to the cart. Two of them are the types of products that you would actually ship to them in the mail. And the third one is actually access to your website. And so they can put them all in the same cart. And whenever they check out, everything will happen on your regular ones. And the one that was marked digital, or the one that was actually linked to a membership level, it will just automatically create the count for them.
Perfect. That was the question of Susan Pelland. Thank you, Susan. Then what about coupons? There are coupons, or how can people use coupons with Wishlist?
Yeah, so this comes up a lot, and the reason there's a little bit of a miscommunication or some misunderstanding. They think that there can't ever be a coupon code used with anything within Wishlist Member. And so this goes back to where I said this is how we deal with payments a little bit differently. So with WooCommerce, if they're handling the payment, WooCommerce has a whole coupon system. We don't control the transaction and have you build a coupon system out in our system. If WooCommerce is where you're collecting the money, you set up a coupon in there. If you're using Samcart, you would use their coupon system. If you're using ThriveCart, you use their coupon system, and all the way down the line. Now Stripe, where I said we actually control the transaction, Stripe actually has a way to create coupons in their system. And I believe that their coupons are only good for their payment plans, not a one-time payment. So this is the one area where we're controlling the coupon, or I'm sorry, we're controlling the transaction. And so if you're using a payment plan, you can use a coupon code that's from them. But if it's a one-time payment, there's currently not a coupon. So it's an area that we're looking to improve on both Stripe and then also PayPal.
Perfect.
But every other one of them.
I have one more related. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Sorry.
Okay.
Is WooCommerce subscription needed with Wishlist?
So the answer to that is that WooCommerce subscriptions is an add-on plugin that modifies the payment system so that it will take recurring payments. So if you are going to have recurring payments with WooCommerce, currently you need to purchase their subscription add-on. If you are only taking a one-time payment, then you don't need it at all. It's also something that we're looking into adding into Wishlist Member, but it's a little bit of a different scenario because you're really handling their payments, not really our system. So
okay. Yes,
it's something that we're looking to add.
It's clear. It's clear. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, people is asking, what is the promo for Wishlist? What is the promo for Wishlist? Are we offering something for Wishlist?
So that's on your end, right?
We did it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I misunderstood that. So this is kind of unusual. We don't typically discount Wishlist Member. We have done some specific promotions, but we typically don't put any kind of coupons. But we believe in what's going on with BuddyBoss so much, and we're so dedicated that we put up a special promotion right now, and we're running it through Sunday. And it's basically 20% off on all of our plans. So you basically just go to our sales page. You could type in wishlistmember.com or member.wishlistproducts.com. That's our site. And once you choose which version you want, you'll go to the checkout page. And in fact, I'll just do that here just so that you can see what happens. And I want to make sure that it's very, very clear. if you click on, I mean, I can go down to the bottom, and let's just say that you want to go with this one. This is a popular one. And you put in the coupon code. This is why I would say we're only running it until Sunday, is usually this is just not even here. We don't have this here typically, but right now I turned it on for this promotion. And if you have a promo code, you type it in, it's BuddyBoss, and you click apply. It's basically going to take 20% off, and the 20% off is both first year and then also ongoing. And just so you know, this is the same as people that have purchased BuddyBoss. Once you buy the plugin, it gives you 1 year of updates and support, and then it renews at that same price the following year to get another year of updates and support. If you choose that you don't want that, you can just turn that off in your customer account, and you won't be billed for any future updates or support. So the coupon code is good for your current purchase and all follow-ups.
Perfect. Thank you very much. So
right.
from BuddyBoss side, we have done similar, like honoring what you have done. So I'm going to take over a second just to show what we have done here. So if you're interested in get BuddyBoss theme, until Sunday, we have made available a special coupon. So if you go to our website, buddyboss.com, then you click on pricing, you will land here. Then buy now, for instance, Safari sites. And in the checkout page, you will be able to apply. Oh, sorry, I have many examples here. I'm going to clear up a bit. But
you're a big spender, Francisco.
You got me. So you can go to this page and apply the coupon wishlist. So, and that will be giving you as well 20% off, from the full price, 20% off. This offer, this coupon wishlist, is valid until this Sunday. Okay, this Sunday. So anyone that wants to take advantage, you're very welcome. Now you can start sharing again, Tracy, if you want. I would like to just wrap up with the final questions. We got 77 questions. Probably we can be here like 2 hours more. Well, I have one question for Mike, please, Mike. The common question. Now we can see that question. You are muted. We can see that question everywhere.
Oh, sorry, just unmuted. I've been sitting here typing, answering everyone's questions as fast as I can.
Beautiful. So the idea is, the common question is about how many users I can handle with my server, or like a sort of minimum average of the server, features.
Okay. This question comes up all the time. Let me share my screen for a second. You can see? Yes, we do. Okay, so I'm gonna give you an answer for now. I'm gonna give you an answer for later. So right now, it is a reality that BuddyBoss platform has a ton of functionality in it. And so all that functionality has a lot of database hits. So if you wanna render the newsfeed, for example, the activity stream, all the content that's showing in the activity feed needs to be pulled from the server. And the content in your newsfeed is different than the content in my newsfeed, or the content in your message inbox is different than the content in my message inbox, etc. Like almost everything in the network is user specific, which means you cannot use caching plugins for the content, or you'll have stale content. So there's a lot of database requests, which means on a server, the server needs to have a pretty good CPU to be able to handle that and run smoothly. So I would not run BuddyBoss on GoDaddy shared hosting. It's going to be super slow. You want to have, I mean, you're running a social network, right? You're running Facebook, you're running LinkedIn. This is what you're running here. So you can't do that on really cheap hosting. It has to be pretty good hosting. So a dedicated server or some cloud hosting like Cloudways or AWS or something like that. That's the first thing. If you want high performance, 50% or more of the equation is the server setup. That's the first thing. And then how many users can you have? So The real question is how many concurrent users. So if you have a site that has 1 million users, but only 10 log in, you have another site that has 100,000 users and 100 log in. The site that has 100 logging in at the exact same moment is going to have bigger performance hurdles than the site that has 10 logging in. It's the concurrent users is the primary thing, because those are all doing database requests at the same time. And it's hard to give an exact answer because it depends so much on your server configuration, which options you have added, which other plugins you have. We have customer sites that I know of that have over 100,000 users. We have client projects that we're working on we have 2 clients that we're working with that will have more than 2 million users in their site. But they're going to invest a lot in their server to be able to handle that. So much depends on what you put on the server side. So that's kind of right now. But this big problem that you can't cache BuddyBoss, and for the last 10 years can't cache BuddyPress, we're aware of that, and we are working to resolve that. And it's going to make a big impact in this question. So if I go to here to I mentioned before, we have an API. So the API, our mobile app uses the API. The web currently does not. It's like any other. This is getting technical. Some of you will resonate with this, some less. But in the mobile app, we use the API and we request data through the API, right? So if we can cache all of the API responses, then everything will be really fast, and the burden on the server for the mobile app will be reduced dramatically. And so we actually have internally, this is not to the public yet, it's still in the testing phase, caching mechanism for every endpoint in this API. Top to bottom, everything we can cache, and it's all user specific caching. So when Francisco logs into his mobile app and reads his messages, that can be cached. The second time he views his messages, it's cache data. When I log into my mobile app and view my messages, different cache for me. So we have user specific caching for every API request. If I get a new message, it will clear the cache, update it. So we're building that into our API, not public yet. First, that's going to launch in the mobile app because the mobile app already uses the API. And then we are working on in the background, this will be a bigger project, is in the platform, allowing the platform to start using the API directly. So if you're in the message inbox in the platform, it will use the API and therefore can use the caching. If you're in the activity feed, it will use the API and use the caching. So that's kind of a very technical, complicated explanation, but the point is, at some point in the future, we will be able to cache pretty much everything happening in the social network. And when we do our tests, in terms of just the response time, a query, basically when you're loading some content that might have taken 3 or 4 seconds previously, when it's cached will take like 200 milliseconds. So we're talking about like an order of magnitude improvement in performance. And it also means when you're viewing cached data, every time you view cached data, it's not hitting the database. So however many, on a given server, however many concurrent users you can have now, once all the caching is in place, and if you use it, it could be like 100-fold the amount of users you could have concurrently. So we're working on that very aggressively. Once we have all that done, you'll see that coming out in updates in the future, hopefully this year, or at least we may not have everything cached in the network in the web this year, but we will have at least a large portion of it this year. And we will start doing a lot of performance benchmarks on that caching and have more official responses to this.
Amazing.
Yeah, without caching, there's so much variability in server. So it's hard to say.
Perfect.
But again, we have customer sites that have over 100,000 users that are active, that run smoothly. But again, those people put work into the server side also. I want to be honest about that. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, Mike. I have another question for Mike. Can you live stream in BuddyBoss?
Can you live stream? So we are building support right now for Zoom, and that will be out this month. And so what you'll be able to do is a couple things. One is we have a Gutenberg block and a shortcode for just adding a Zoom meeting. So on any random WordPress page, there'll be a block showing a meeting and a countdown timer. When it's time for the meeting, you can click and we can all join the Zoom. And we're adding support for Zoom in groups. So when you're in a social group, the group organizers can schedule meetings. And in that group, you will see upcoming Zoom meetings. And when it's time for the meeting, everyone in the group can join together and participate in the meeting. When a meeting has finished, if you're paying for Zoom Pro that allows for recordings, then you'll see the recordings too. And in the group, you'll be able to access, and in the Gutenberg block too. if you have recordings enabled in your Zoom account, then you'll be able to access all the old recordings and watch them too. So we've been working on that for a while, and it's getting close. That will be live sometime this month.
Okay, perfect. The users are getting notifications for Zoom meetings in the platform.
If you're in a group and there's a Zoom meeting coming up for that group, you will get a notification.
Okay, that's
and it'll be in the activity feed also. When someone registers a new meeting in the group, it'll be in the group activity feed with like a countdown timer. It's pretty cool. I think you guys will like it.
Yeah, perfect. Then this question is next. When someone signs up for BuddyBoss, Mike, do you want to stop sharing screen a bit?
Oh yeah.
When someone signs up for BuddyBoss and Wishlist, can they also be added to ConvertKit too?
Maybe that's for Tracy.
Yes.
More about that.
So
yes.
Yeah. So
we have no time. We have no time to show the video. We can say yes or no.
Yeah, no problem. So we just did kind of a big overhaul on all of our email integrations, and so they work very similar to what I showed you with the BuddyBoss. So when you're added or removed or canceled from a membership level, you can add or remove from email provider.
Great. Is HubSpot integration coming to Wishlist?
I'm sorry, what was it?
HubSpot.
HubSpot.
Oh, HubSpot. Yes, that is actually on our roadmap. And I know that somebody asked what's on our roadmap. And we basically built a Trello board, and we haven't really gotten it out there. And we're going to be working on making our roadmap a little bit better. But HubSpot is on the roadmap.
Okay, great. Thank you. How well does Wishlist work with BuddyBoss and LearnDash integration?
It works great. So, I mean, other than what I showed earlier, right?
Thank you very much.
I mean, so again, all the actions are separate. So again, so if they came in somehow, you took money in LearnDash, and then you took, you had them set up, and then you brought them into Wishlist Member, then we could add them to BuddyBoss. And I think I saw a question asking about Zapier. We also have Zapier integration. And so we have incoming and outgoing with Zapier. We also have incoming and outgoing web hooks. So if somebody doesn't want to use Zapier, but I saw a question where if somebody was added on Facebook, I think to your private group, you could send them in Zapier into Wishlist Member, and then Wishlist Member could put them into BuddyBoss.
Great. Question, is Razorpay for India in the roadmap?
Razorpay.
Razorpay.
So Razorpay is on our roadmap as a request, and I keep hearing more and more about it. So there is a chance, but what we're telling right now, and I saw this, somebody asked earlier about Square Payments. Square Payments is in the same situation. We can't develop everything, but both Razorpay and Square Pay work with WooCommerce. So if you use WooCommerce to collect the money with Razorpay or Square Payments, that's integrated perfectly.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Give me 1 second. Sorry, this one is for Mike. What does the Elementor integration looks like? Since BuddyBoss is also starting to support Elementor.
All right, so the quick answer is kind of, the whole point of Elementor is to make it visually look like whatever you want. I'll tell you what we support right now in Elementor. So if you're on just a general WordPress page, we have styling for all the Elementor widgets so that you can put those in and make a sales page or a squeeze page or something like that. We have support for the Elementor custom headers. So on globally across the site or on any specific page, you can just swap out the header of the theme with your own Elementor header and all the options they have in their work. And in our theme, you have in the upper right, the area where there's the profile drop down and icons for notifications and messages and stuff. We have a widget for Elementor that you can plop in there, so you can add your own custom header and then put the profile drop down and like the icons for messages, notifications, etc. in the Elementor header. We support custom Elementor footer. So yeah, so right now in this moment, you can customize WordPress pages, totally the layout, and customize the header and footer basically. Coming up, we have a lot of our social stuff we're making Elementor widgets for, so that you can place in like your activity and stuff like that. groups. We're doing Elementor widgets for that. And we're also building kind of pre-built sections and pages that make sense for social content that you'll be able to import into Elementor. All that's coming really soon, like June, July, this month, next month. You'll see a lot of that stuff coming out. And then as the year goes on, we want to go even further with it, especially in our social stuff. Like right now, if you try to go to your, even though we'll have like a members widget, you could put an Elementor page, and we'll have a Elementor dashboard as well that you, when you log in, you can go to the dashboard and see all the stuff for you. But still, if you go to the members directory or the groups directory, those can't be edited in Elementor yet, but lots of people want that, and we know that. So as time goes on, you'll see us starting to go in that direction too.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, Francisco, I'm going to jump in on this one before you move on, because this is going to be pretty exciting. Okay. So we are actually working on some stuff. We use Elementor ourselves and we love it. Super, super powerful. It's super cool to hear that you guys are building widgets, because we took a little bit of a different approach. We're looking at maybe a new product that has a bunch of Elementor widgets, but directly into Wishlist Member, we added an integration. So if you're using Elementor and you turn on this integration, there's basically on every section and intersection of Elementor, you now have an option that says, I want to show this if somebody's a member or of this level, or if they're not. So now if you guys put your widgets in there and you put a section, and you could basically take that, and let's just say that it's access to a forum, and then you duplicate it, right? So you have one there exactly the same. One has in color and it has the link. This one's, you gray it out and there is no link. You show this one to people that are a member. You show that one to people that are not a member. And that would work with anything, like if you were linking to a LearnDash course or anything like that.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear you guys are
that's
jumping
very,
in
very powerful. Like hide even the same page, hide sections based on member level. That's crazy. That's
awesome. Yeah, I'll just say a lot of our customers are using Elementor, and we love Elementor. It's, you know, people, I've seen some comments in the questions here asking, oh, is there only the one BuddyBoss theme? What if we want to look different? So I'll just answer that quickly. So our theme, we're doing one, first off, the platform is theme independent, so you can build your own theme or use any theme. But we're trying to make our theme just as extendable as possible. So right now you can swap the logo, change all the colors very easily, change the fonts, upload your own custom fonts. And then as we move further into Elementor, you'll be able to go even deeper. So if you can change the header or the footer, change how the groups are styled through Elementor, you can basically tweak that theme to look like anything. So yeah, that's the strategy.
Perfect. It is possible to have the same customized site theme layout that BuddyBoss is using in the demo sandbox.
Is it possible to have that layout?
I mean, like demo content.
Oh, the demo content, all the demo content. Well, not literally the exact demo content without exporting that database, but in BuddyBoss, if you go in the admin and go to BuddyBoss tools, you'll see a demo data area where you can quickly import demo data. So it will just automatically populate your site with fake members, messages, activity, groups, forums, and it's not destructive. You can go back in there and have it delete that data too. So it's really useful for if you have a brand new site and you just want dummy data there to see as you style things and play, you can do that and then remove it later.
Okay, perfect.
In terms of the data, in terms of the style, I mean, the demo is not doing anything super special. It's the default theme with some color options selected and stuff. So that's all there out of the box.
Okay, thank you very much. Then the BuddyBoss members directory search for members near me.
Okay, so right now, out of the box in the product, we don't have search for members near me. We do have a plugin on the BuddyBoss website for adding locations. So I'll share my screen in a sec. Let's see. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So this plugin is available on the BuddyBoss website. So like I said, we used to do specializing in BuddyPress add-ons and themes and stuff. So some of our add-ons we made for BuddyPress, they work with BuddyBoss platform too, and we still sell those. So you can buy this plugin, and it uses the Google Maps API and will allow you, as they start typing in an address, it'll auto-complete it from the Google Maps API data, and you can fill out your address. And then people will have nicely formatted addresses. And you could map these fields into our advanced search on the members directory and then search using that data. And it'll even do the autocomplete in the search. So this is the best solution if you're trying to do location-based stuff like that. And maybe one day in the future we'll incorporate this into the core product, but at least for now, that's not the case. So just, you can just get this.
Yes, there was a question related to like create like a sort of pet funds, no, a website. Maybe they want to be together, all pet owners from California, and then try to interact together. So that probably is the solution for that idea as well.
That you could also use groups, right? So groups are meant to be a place where people hang out. So you could create, and you could let users create their own groups, or you could turn that off and just the admin organizes it. But you could have a California pet owners group and just encourage people from California to join that group, and then they all hang out there. It's another option.
Yes, very good, very good. Thank you. Now let me see. How can I create? Sorry, excuse me. Is Infusionsoft integrated with Wishlist already?
Yes, it is. Infusionsoft, we actually use Infusionsoft ourselves. So we have a basic integration. We also have a separate product that really pushes it all the way to the next level, which does everything that ties into Infusionsoft. But it's already very powerful, both if you just want to do email integrations, just to apply tags. It does all kinds of stuff.
Perfect. Does Wishlist work with WordPress multi-site?
It does, but the way multi-site works is you have to have a license for each one. So if you had multi-site with 3, it's basically you need a 3-site license.
Okay, perfect. Clear. Okay, 1 second. Thanks, Mike. I want to read some comments. No, thanks, Michael. We were halfway through building on our own site on Lifter when we hear about your app, and now we have LearnDash. So we started all over with LearnDash. Love your product and documentation, Michael. Good job.
Cool, thank you.
Okay, I think that
Awesome.
Because of time, we cannot still answering all possible questions. We got 84 new.
Yeah, and I was talking a good bit of the time, so I didn't get to see all the questions. So if I think I'm in the BuddyBoss Facebook group. So if somebody had a question specifically for me, they can ask there, and I'll do my best to answer that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been chatting. I've been in the chat responding to a lot too.
Okay, good.
There's a lot of them. I can't handle all of them, but.
So maybe
there's a chat and a Q&A thing. So
we are going to do series.
Q&A.
I think that series is better, no? Like 1 hour, 3 series for Wishlist. So yes. Okay. I think that we should be doing the wrap up. We are really happy of what has been shared today, Michael and Tracy. I'm really excited about what this integration is achieving, and also how this integration is empowering BuddyBoss users to simplify and automate their process, onboarding for users, or move them around groups as they want, or even update their profile types as they want, or finally simply every sign up, get them right away assigned to a membership level. That is a common need that every BuddyBoss site owner is looking for. I just want to go through the chat to say thank you to everyone. We reached a level with 195 attendees online, and we're really excited about all your support. We are planning to do these webinars with different WordPress companies that are integrating directly with BuddyBoss platform. So stay tuned. More news are coming. Now, for instance, today was released the Groundhog integration with BuddyBoss, and we are going to have an upcoming webinar with them. So all of you will be notified via email. But that is as well as a very exciting integration to generate more interaction, no, based on events that users are doing in the platform. Okay, Tracy, a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time.
All right. Thank you for
Michael,
having
Thank
me.
you,
so
Tracy.
much for your
Thank you.
time.
Good to
And
see you again, Michael.
all participants.
Francisco?
Oh,
Before you jump off, some people are asking if they'll be able to access this video after the recording is done. Maybe you should answer that.
yeah, there will be 99, like an offer. No, the reply is free. The replay is free. No worries. The replay is free. No, everyone know that was registered for the webinar will be getting the replay. And also we are going to be publishing that on YouTube maximum tomorrow, late at the end of the day. So again, I just want to say thank you to all participants that joined today, that make a lot of questions, so we can really like put under pressure Tracy, Mike, and then together, we went through all this webinar. Thank you so much, and that's it. Thank you. Goodbye.
Awesome. Thanks so much,
Thank you.
everyone. Thanks, Tracy.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.